Hello and welcome to January 26th of The Science of Mind in a Year. We are in the chapter titled How to Use It, and we are starting on page 53, the fifth paragraph, the very last one at the bottom, right where we left off yesterday. So here we go. We should be able to look at a discordant fact in the face and deny its reality, since we know its seeming reality is borrowed from illusion, from chaos and old night. Our standard is one of perfection. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Chapter 5, verse 48. We should be able to look at a wrong condition with the knowledge that we can change it. The realization that we have this ability must be gained by the application of our knowledge. The practice of the science of mind calls for a positive understanding of the spirit of truth, a willingness to let this inner spirit guide us with the conscious knowledge that the law of the Lord is perfect. That's from Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. And we must believe this is to be a fact. Insofar as our thought is in accord with this perfect law, it will accomplish, and nothing can hinder it. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. That's from the book of Matt, chapter 24, verse 35, said the beautiful Jesus, as he strove to teach his disciples the immutability of the law of righteousness. A practitioner uses thought definitely and for specific purposes, and the more definitely they use the law, the more directly it will respond to them. A false fact is neither person, place, nor thing to the one who uncovers it, and once uncovered, it has no place in which to hide. The illusion, seen and understood, is made negative in the experience of the one who suffered by it. While it is true that wrong conditions exist, they could not remain unless there were someone to experience them. Consequently, the experience must be in consciousness. Change the consciousness, and the false condition will disappear. Conditions are not entities. We are entities. Cannot that which is conscious cast out that which has no consciousness? If we properly understood, we would be able to remove false conditions as easily as Jesus did. He knew, but our faith is weak. We must strengthen it, and we can. Let us analyze this. One finds themselves impoverished. They wish to change this condition. They know that it is not in accord with the ultimate reality, that the Spirit imposes no limitations. Therefore, they know that their apparent limited condition has no real law to support it. It is simply an experience of consciousness. They wish a definite result in the opposite direction. First, they realize that the law of life is a law of liberty, of freedom. They now state that this law of liberty is flowing through them and into all their affairs, but the image of their limitation persists. Here is a definite contradiction of their statements of freedom. Right here, they must stop and declare that these images of limitation are neither person, place, nor thing, that they have no power, personality, nor presence, and no real law to support them. They do not believe in them, and they cannot operate through them. They are free from their influence forever. They then begin to fill their thought with the idea of faith, the expectancy of good, and the realization of plenty. They sense and mentally see right action in their life. They put their whole trust in the law of God, and it becomes very real to them as they definitely speak it into being, into their being, and into the being of their affairs. They deny anything and everything that contradict their realization of this truth. At this point of realization, they meet a friend who immediately begins a tale of woe about hard times, bad business conditions, etc. And should they listen to this tale of the serpent, they might reverse their previous affirmations and make negative their former mental and spiritual concept. This does not mean that they should refuse to hold conversation with people, for fear they will neutralize the position which they have taken in their mind, but that they should refuse mentally to accept the false position. Then they can talk with anyone and not be disturbed. The time will come when we will let our conversation be in heaven and refuse to talk about, read, or think about those things that ought not to be. But, someone will say, should we refuse to look at sickness, poverty, and unhappiness? This is not what we are discussing. We will not refuse to help the helpless or lift up the fallen, but we will refuse to wallow in the mud because of our sympathies. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. That's from the book of Matt, chapter 15, verse 14. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, comment, ask questions. If you want a deeper understanding of anything, I'd be happy to help. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.